Welcome to 3 Expert Tips with Annette Talee, where top experts in the real estate world give you tips and tricks to grow your business. Here's your host, Annette Talee.
Now we go to the part of the show where you're going to give me 3 expert tips. And I was talking to Whitney, and he's going to give us 3 tips on how to maximize your productivity using a VA, a virtual assistant.
Virtual assistants have changed my business, and a few things that you need to know. Well, doing a daily podcast pushed me to grow a team that weren't all in the office, right? Other people that have specific skills. And so one thing about using a virtual assistant is you have to know what you're using them for. Okay. You have to think about, is it this one task over here? Because you can hire them to be really good at this one task. It could be data entry. It could be research. It could be editing audio for a podcast. It could, this one specific thing. Or are you looking for somebody that's, say, that amazing executive assistant that's really going to be your right hand and help you with lots of things? Because it's 2 separate types of hires. Okay. This person over here, that's the executive assistant, I'm going to do a background credit check on, and, maybe a series of interviews, and different things, because they're my right hand, and they play such a large role, and they have access to lots of information, so I have to know who they are. And I want to make sure there's somebody that's going to stay long-term, where this person over here, they may do something for me numerous days a week, but it's just this like one revolving task. They don't have access to systems or portals or emails or CRMs, things like that. But, so I just need to know that they're skilled at that one thing, right? And another thing you need to think about is when you're advertising for a VA, your job description is key. So, the title and the job description, you want to be very detailed in what, and what you're looking for, what you're using them for. They need to know right away. And because you're going to waste a lot of time interviewing people if you didn't have a good job description. Okay. And in that job description, I always like to make a way for people to stand out. Okay. So briefly, in maybe like a half a sentence in the last paragraph of my job description, I'll have a list of things I need them to be able to do or be good at, depending on what it is. But I'll even, especially from like this executive assistant position, I'll put a little sentence in there that says, if you're serious about this position, send me a video application. Okay. And I won't say anything else about it. Okay. But then I'll see who actually went that extra mile, right? To give me that, that little extra detail there. Who paid attention to that? I may also
read it.
What's that?
Who read it completely?
That's right. That's exactly right. I'll have people say they read it, but they will never mention that. I may also say, give me a description of how you fulfill the roles above. I'll give them a list of things that they need to know how to do, and send me that on one page in PDF format. Okay. And that's all I'll say about that. And then, I'll have people that send me amazing answers, but they send it to me in a Word document, and that may sound silly, but it helps me to see their, just are they paying attention to every detail? Are they really thinking through this? Do they really care about this position? Because ultimately, if not, if they halfway did it or didn't do it at all, because you'll see copy and paste stuff, all the time of just their resume. But then, I use Upwork a lot, to find those people, and I'll, hire them through Upwork and use the Upwork platform, to even pay them for a long time. But then ultimately, how do you keep them on board? And it's something that I've worked on a lot more recently is, like showing them that they're part of the team. Right? They have to feel wanted. They have to feel like their job is necessary and that they're contributing. And so it's something I've had to work on and revamp. Even just recently, I've been trying to hire somebody for this executive assistant position again. And it's been really difficult to find somebody that really has the high level of integrity and morals but is skilled as well. And it's not as easy as you may think. And so I've been conducting lots of interviews, but I say, conduct an interview and ask questions about not just their skill set, but ask them about who they are. Ask them about what they like to do on the weekend. I like to ask, what are the 5 most important things to you? And that's it. Like, what are the 5 most important things to you? And because that's going to show me a lot about who they are, and it's going to allow me to lead into a lot more questions about what's important to them. And they may say, well, you mean personally? And I'll just say, any way you want to answer it. What are the 5 most important things to you? And, and the top two things are going to tell me a lot about them. You're going to hear family and kids and, their work and things like that. But there's still a couple more things there. They got to dig just a little bit to really tell me a little more about them. Because that's, again, just like finding that business partner, that's more important to me. If they're editing a podcast, that's not always the case. I don't have to know those details, right? I just send me some files, or maybe I send you a file of a raw podcast, and allow you to do a little work and me to see your work. And ultimately then, show me some references and we're kind of good, but ultimately this executive assistant's a very different hire. So I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, that's amazing information. I mean, I love the fact that you are, asking them for a specific task. And then if they don't do it, then they are not paying attention to detail. If a position that you are looking for, you need somebody that needs to pay attention to the detail, then, you weed out a lot of people that didn't pay attention.
That's right. You can spend a lot of time doing interviews and you didn't have to.
Right. I've been hiring and using a lot of, virtual assistants in the last 6 months. And one of the things that was driving me crazy is like I would send them all these things I want them to do, and then I would get the result and it wasn't 100%. So I just made a list, and it was like a checklist. Before you send me a file, check that all of these things are done. And it was like problem solved, right? Wow. Because they had to do this before, like it was mostly for editing of the videos. Check the quality and check that the logo and check that this is done, and the music and the sound and the volume.
And I would hope that you didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like I would like to find somebody that knows to do that before I have to tell them.
Right. But, it was for me, it was also, starting to do it. Right. So I had to do like a system. So I did the first video or the first couple of videos by myself. And then I was like, how do I get somebody to do it the way I want it? Right. Yeah, so then I made this guide of what I want, but then I really like working with him because I work with other people, but I didn't like necessarily working with them, but I like to work with this guy. So I said, okay, if I make you a checklist, then he's doing it awesome since then. So I guess I understood how the system works. I heard a lot of people talking about have your systems before you start hiring other people. And I really didn't understand what it meant until I did that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's a system because then he can follow it and then we're going to do it. Sure. Absolutely. Whitney, this has been an amazing episode. Thank you so much for adding so much value to my audience. I had a lot of fun learning, and I can believe it's been already an hour. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
And for people that want to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
Go to lifebridgecapital.com. You can email me, Whitney@lifebridgecapital.com. You can call or text 540-585-4338. I'd love to connect. You can go to our website and you can find a sheet there that we created for passive investors that tell you the pros and cons of investing in a real estate syndication deal and things you need to know before you invest. Maybe things you need to ask the operator, things you need to talk to your CPA about, different things like that. But also, if you have a listener who is looking to adopt a child, my wife and I have numerous calls with couples. We just did last night as well, with couples who are looking to adopt and don't know how to get started. And we would love to help you any way that we can. So please reach out.
Wow, that's an amazing cause. Thank you so much, Whitney.
My pleasure.
This was 3 Expert Tips with Annette Talley, brought to you by Talley Investments. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Our goal is to provide amazing value to your real estate journey. Connect online at www.talleyinvestments.com, where you can find this episode and more. Did you like this episode? Subscribe, like, and share.